It's Batman.
Hey, look, it's Batman!
Oh, did you see that? Batman. It's him. Wow.
These videos are not for children. If you're a children, then piss off.
Hey there, it's me, your least favorite YouTuber, the Infuso. And it's not every day that I get to take a look at a Batman property I'm completely unfamiliar with. But today is one of those days. I actually hadn't even heard of this series until about 2 years ago, when at the time I was looking for some B-roll in an upcoming Batman video I was making, go figure, and that's when I stumbled upon Batman Unlimited. The Batman movies that exist only to promote a toy line of Batman toys. See, I'd like to laugh at that a little bit more, but I'm still recovering from the heartbreak of having one of my all-time favorite TV shows canceled because apparently it didn't sell enough toys. Anyway, with all that being said, this is my first time checking out Batman Unlimited Animal Instincts. Now, first and foremost, let's all acknowledge that this is a Batman movie for a much younger Batman audience. We're talking baby's first Batman here. So if you're going into this looking for Batman to beat criminals to a bloody pulp, while those closest to him deliver heartfelt, meaningful speeches about just how important he is, then I think you may have tuned into the wrong Batman movie. Yet, for such a simple movie, they acquired some of the top talents in the realm of voice acting. Roger Craig Smith once again steps into the role of Batman and Bruce Wayne. He previously voiced the character in Arkham Origins to perfection, making himself sound like a younger version of Kevin Conroy's version of the character. But here, he's not asked to do an impression, so it does sound slightly different, and noticeably distinct. The guy who voiced Alfred in the Batman show comes back to voice him here once again. Richard Epcar, the talent behind Mortal Kombat's Raiden and Kingdom Hearts' Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, lends his voice to the role of Commissioner Gordon. John DiMaggio, the voice of Bender, Jake the Dog, Marcus Phoenix, he does one hell of a job as Killer Croc. And then they got the voice of Static Shock and the Green Lantern, Phil Lamar himself, attached to the project as well. Silverback is being played by my man Holtz from Angel, who many of you may recognize as not Harvey Bullock from The Dark Knight. Batman Beyond himself, Will Friedle, steps into the role of Nightwing. Yuri Lowenthal, who a lot of people may know as Spider-Man, plays Red Robin. And the Penguin is voiced by Master Shake from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That is one hell of a lineup. And yet, not all of them are as great as you may think. This movie is every bit as campy as you'd expect it to be. The dialogue is simple and goofy, with puns taking priority.
Why? You should know by now that nobody likes a cheetah.
Oh, come over here and we can hiss and make up.
Characters give unasked, unearned explanations to move the plot forward in a clear and concise manner. The animation is also nondescript and fairly basic looking, but not bad, just feels bland, like there's no uniqueness to its identity. I mean, they look enough like the characters, they're just not incredibly detailed. And the details they do go about adding to the characters' outfits and attires, well, I'm not really a fan of. Like a yellow tint around the Batman logo? Why? Who is that for? And yeah, I know I shouldn't care, but I care immensely. I don't know how to feel about this Batman suit. I don't hate it, but I definitely don't love it. It kind of looks like Bruce Wayne running around in the Batman Beyond prototype. Or alternatively, like he raided his cousin's closet and made some alterations to the Batwoman suit. I feel a little bit similar about the Nightwing outfit. There's a part of me that really likes it, but then there's a part of me questioning the part of me that really likes it. It's not bad, but I think it could have used a few more concept alterations before it landed on a final design. I will, however, say, without any hesitation, that I hate the Penguin's design. Like, when did this little guy get so jacked? I should never, at any point in life, think that the vertically challenged man with a limp would be able to go toe-to-toe with the world's most violent protector. But honestly, like, I'm kind of afraid for Batman's safety. Like, I'm pretty sure not Danny DeVito could take him. I'm also definitely not feeling the brother eye monocle that he's working with either. Just not a big fan of that development. Not for me personally. I think one of my biggest gripes with this is that it doesn't do a good job of explaining its universe or establishing its characters. The characters themselves, they aren't really characterized. We don't ever learn anything about any of the heroes or villains. They're just something to look at. You would think with how simple and basic the plot is, it would lead to the cast becoming the focal point. Maybe the plot's secondary and the runtime will be pushed forward by these contrasting, conflicting, larger-than-life personalities, but no. These over-the-top gods and monsters often come across as plain, with next to no indication as to what their personalities are supposed to be. It doesn't help that the lines are delivered so carelessly and passionless that it seems like next to nobody on the crew was putting in any effort. Which is weird because, again, you have a very talented group of people working for you, so why aren't they working with their actual talents? Everything about the finalized product feels like they're just reading through it the first time. Lines are delivered as if they have no meaning, and Batman specifically is noticeably monotone. I mean, granted, Batman is always a bit monotone, but it's noticeable. It is so noteworthy that I literally made a note of it here. Like I said before, I know I'm not the target audience, but if this was being made for any audience, maybe it would have been worthy of a little bit more effort. Additions of fun fan favorites like Green Arrow and The Flash do little to add anything of note to the movie, because as with all the rest of the characters, they're depicted poorly. Barry Allen is probably the closest to having an actual personality, so to speak. Except his personality is that he's mildly annoying. But even in saying that, it's still incredibly underdeveloped and just overly dull, which is a word I'd use when describing a lot of this movie. Dull. I will say, I think the action, which often takes center stage, is usually pretty fair. There are sequences here and there that I vaguely find fun or aesthetically pleasing. There was also a moment or two in passing when watching this that the fight scenes actually got some reaction out of me. So I would probably consider this the highlight of the movie, but, you know, that's about it. And I'm admittedly really pushing to find a highlight. This movie is definitely gadget heavy. You definitely get the feeling that Batman has a solution for every situation that he could find himself in on hand already. There's so many times in this where a new danger would present itself, but then it would immediately be discarded because Bruce already brought the right toys to this proverbial playground. This Batman adapts to any given situation, and he does so without prep time. Plot points seem to happen at the convenience of the overall plot, things are largely underdeveloped or unexplained. Sometimes solutions are found a scene after finding and discussing whatever the problem is. There's a whole subplot with Man-Bat and Dr. Langstrom's inability to control the beast that he becomes. But then Red Robin's all like, "Hey, please don't be Man-Bat anymore, Doc. You remember when you weren't Man-Bat? Remember those days?" And then this guy's suddenly in control again, even though he's a giant Batman. And up until this point, there was no sense of control. Just one dude in a mask being like, hey, chill, bro. And he's like, oh, no, you're right. You're right. Good shit. But it's okay, because by the end, he's no longer a giant bat because of his sacrifice made in the middle of a tractor beam, which nullified the effects of the serum that turned him into a giant bat. Of course. So in all my talking in this video, I realize I've actually told you very little about the actual movie. But unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot to talk about here. This movie is slow-paced, uneventful, and worst of all, unengaging. I can't imagine a child being entertained by this, because I'm a grown-ass man, and I was having a hard time keeping focused. The movie's all about the villains in Batman's rogues gallery who have personas, banding together to start an old bad guy convention of some sort, in which they are aided by evil dinosaurs. Now that sounds like I'm making a joke, but that is basically what actually happens. Take what I just said, and stretch it out for an hour and 17 minutes, and that is what this movie is. Well, actually, Penguin starts a league with all of his animal adversaries to go on a spree of robberies that didn't see them take anything from the places that they robbed, but instead saw them leave things at the place of the robberies. And this is, of course, to use those coordinates to create a force field umbrella over their hideout while they draw a meteor to Gotham City. And I think someone said something about the asteroid having gold in it, because, yeah, that makes sense.
Huge asteroids may have brought gold and other precious metals to infant Earth, new research suggests.
But that's mostly it. It's been really challenging to sit here and make this video and try to go into detail about something that is so blatant and basic in everything that it does. unless I sat here and gave you a direct play-by-play of what happens in the movie, I can't really go into any more detail. That's really all it has. I will say there are a couple of nice touches here and there, though. Like, for example, when Batman reprograms the evil AI dog, he renames it Ace. And that's kind of adorable. I like that. I also think the final shot of the heroes standing on the roof saying their goodbyes, watching them after a journey go their separate ways and continue on their good guy paths, is a nice touch. It's a nice way of ending the movie. But overall, I enjoyed this significantly less than I thought I would. And I would absolutely not recommend Batman Unlimited Animal Instinct. It's not horrendous or unwatchable, but it's just a whole lot of nothing. I hate to say it, but for me, this movie just felt like a total waste of time. But I hope for you that this video hasn't been. So if you like this video and would like to see me tackle the next installment in the series, let me know in the comment section below by leaving a comment saying, Batman is boring. And with all that being said, I was your least favorite YouTuber, Infuso, and I thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.
I am vengeance. I am the night, and that was Infuso. Just remember, if you're not tuning in, then you're missing out.
So, if you like the words that came out of his mouth hole, and you too would like to become a V-generate, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, nerds!
And if you're not joining the fun, you're in for one bad day. And you know what they say about having one bad day?
Catch him next time. Same bat time. Same bat channel.